everyone. You're listening to Zen The Podcast with me, Sirg.
And me, Zenobia. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Zen The Podcast. And you can follow me on Instagram at Khaleesi. And Twitter at ToroEO with 2 O's at the end.
And you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at CallMeSurge. We're here on episode 4 of Zen The Podcast.
Woo!
Yes. Episode 4, season 2 of Zen The Podcast. And today we have a special guest, a new guest. He's our friend most of the time, our gay dad half of the time, and my boyfriend when I need him to be.
Oh my
God.
Oh no.
I'm serious. Like, visit the club.
Oh,
Right, so he's one of my best Judies, one of our best Judies, Tony.
Hi, guys.
So, Tony, tell us a little bit about yourself. Well, first, your name is?
My name is Antonio, but I like to be called Tony.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a lovely Capricorn.
One
One of the best.
Dating profile.
One of the best. I know it's not a dating profile. I'm 24. I attend Bowie State University. My major is history and government with the career goal of becoming a United States Senator for the state of Maryland.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
Make Maryland gay again.
Let's.
Something interesting about myself. I don't know. I like to advocate and have fun.
Okay.
That sounds pretty boring, really.
I like to advocate, read books, sit around with my cats,
Okay, that's
Pretty much.
That's me.
And what is your social media handles? Where can we follow you on social media?
You can definitely follow me on Instagram, Tony That Tiger. That is it.
Is that really?
I want to say that's my Instagram. I changed it so many times. I want to say it's Tony That Tiger. TonyThatTyga. Yeah, I had to be different. Leave me alone.
Okay.
Tony the Tiger was taken. Taken, I'm sorry.
So it's, say again?
It's Tony That Tiger.
Tony That Tiger.
Tiger like the rapper.
Tiger like the rapper.
Can't rap.
And you're just on Instagram?
Yes.
Okay. Well, the theme for today's podcast is Black advancement. And since our guest Tony is here, we're changing up the setup of the episode.
Yeah, we're only going to answer a few questions that I came up with that, of course, contains to the overall theme, which is Black advancement. So stay tuned for more after this.
And we are back. You are listening to Zen the Podcast with our guest Tony.
Hey, guys.
Yeah.
And the theme for today is Black advancement.
So first things first. Can someone explain what Black advancement is? How about you, Tony?
Wow, put me on the spotlight. Okay.
Guest of honor, of course.
Black advancement means providing the Black community with a better opportunity in whatever prospect of life they're in, area of life they're in, whether it's financial, allowing the Black or an African American equal wage, and a better wage than what we are getting now. Black advancement means educating ourselves, properly educating ourselves. A lot of our brothers and sisters in the African American community don't understand what it means to be LGBTQ. They don't understand the struggles that LGBTQ individuals endure on top of being Black in America. What does Black advancement mean to you, Zenobia?
Well, Black advancement, I think it's too simple to say like monitoring our progress as a race. But I think most or not most, but some part of Black advancement is dedicated to like learning from past mistakes, transgressions, experiences, and using that to influence how we move forward from certain things, if that
Okay.
makes sense,
I see where you're going.
and use that to boost us as a people. Like a lot of times when I hear discussions about Black advancement, especially from like older generations, they'll say like, well, we haven't, I don't know. I've heard mixed views. Like some older people say that we've come like
Old people.
further. Like they'll be like, well, y'all, we made so much progress versus what we'd had back in the day. But
I would
feel
agree
like,
with that low key.
It's
I would
true.
agree.
It's
like
true.
I see it, but I know that a lot of our generation is like, where's the progress at? Where at? We're still bickering. We still want to segregate ourselves.
I think our generation doesn't understand that the work that our ancestors did has to continue through us.
Yeah.
I think they don't. I have to take that back. I think our generation, or some of our generation, does understand that. I see a huge spike in politics with our generation. Like they're more interactive
And politically assertive.
and more politically involved. Most of Bernie Sanders supporters are our generation, or my generation. Shout out to the 95 babies.
My opinion of what Black advancement is basically how we as Black people, don't matter what kind of Black person you are, whether if you're like a gay Black person or a heterosexual Black person or you're mixed with another race, us as Black people, how do we move forward from where we are now, and where we are now, how can we move forward from now to the future, and how can we progress from what we're currently having to deal with, violence and racism, and not getting opportunities, like not having opportunities that you see other people are given. But like, how can we move forward and get those opportunities and move forward from the racism and the hate and all that stuff? How can we move forward from that and get better over time? So that being said, here's another question. How can we advance ourselves in social media as Black people?
Social media is kind of tough.
Yeah.
How can we advance ourselves on social media? One thing I would say that would be helpful, all those negative posts about fighting and all, like, come on.
I see that a lot.
Come on. We already have a bad stigma in society of us being rowdy and reckless
and being animals,
and called animals. Like, we don't need that rep. We don't need to feed into those type of stereotypes. I would say staying away from stuff like that can help us look better or advance ourselves on social media.
How about you, Zen?
Social media is one of those things that it's like, it can be used for good things, but a lot of times when I go on there, I see a lot of questionable things. And I guess looking at it, like, I say this so much now, looking at it from a PR viewpoint.
Yes, ma'am.
And knowing that I'm a Black, young, queer woman, and if I want to make myself like seem more serious, and I want to be more politically assertive, and I want to be more like conscious and woke, and I go on social media, sometimes I look at my own social media, I'm like, ooh, child. But I think a lot of times the problem is that we tend not to focus on things that are important when it comes to social media. Like, I keep seeing all of this talking about like the Kardashians and all of these like other issues going on, when we could be using our social media platforms to talk about what's going on in our communities and what's going on in our families, what's going on in universities that don't want to talk about real Black history and things like that.
Preach.
Like that's what I see. So it's hard for me to answer that question and to like suggest how we can advance ourselves in social media. And social media is like it's a medium that's ever changing.
Yeah.
Like social media will be completely different in about 5 years from now. Like
same thing,
yeah,
different name.
Yeah. So that one I don't really like. I don't really see how we, unless you consider rebranding yourself and like rebranding like what you stand for, or not rebranding what you stand for, but rebranding your image, like how Tony was talking about, like all the fight videos that coincidentally happen to be associated and targeted to Black accounts and Black users.
Right.
Because I won't even be following these accounts, but I know I'll see like 30-second fight videos or twerk videos and stuff on social media.
Twerking is not that bad. That's
entertainment. I mean, it paints an image for us.
Okay, people. So I mean, and that's the other thing. Like, we have to. I don't know. I feel like I'm on the fence with twerking. I find that entertaining.
Yeah, but with me and social media, I feel like we should focus more about what's important and how to, like, we shouldn't be retweeting about fights and, like you said, the Kardashians or, what's the other show? Love and Hip Hop and all these reality shows and twerking. And
I mean,
negative stereotypical things that you would see Black people do on social media. We shouldn't be really encouraging things like this on social media.
But I was also gonna say, why? No, that's a different question.
Say what's on your mind.
I would like to say what's on your mind. I was gonna say, why do we have to stress what we do?
And
because
why?
we're
and you just answered
right.
The
so that's why I'm saying. So wow, make me look dumb on podcast. Okay, make your guests look dumb.
But I have something popped in my mind when we were talking about like social media. So sometimes it's not even just like the entertainment aspect of social media. How do we figure out? We're okay. For example, not to be the one to do it.
She's gonna be the one to do
it. What does that mean? Some of y'all about to be real mad at me, but it must be said.
I know. I feel like
with the Jussie Smollett situation. Now this was wait.
Look.
But this was a very when the story came out. I will admit, as a Black queer woman and young, I guess you could say a bit naive, I was looking through my tweets. I said, "Oh my goodness, this is like, I'm so frustrated. This happens a lot." Same. I began to retweet without doing any research, validation, investigation.
But with stuff like that, you don't. If I said, "Oh my God, I got raped last night," you're not going to look at research. You're not going to look. You're going to take them at face because that's something you don't play with.
But then, do you think that diminishes our credibility?
I'm gonna let your followers know where I stand on this issue. I believe Jussie Smollett fully. Okay, that police department is known for scandals. It's known for falsifying documents. So there's no way in God's earth I'm going to believe them over a victim. Okay, and if you have so many people backing him saying, "I believe him," I saw the tears on his face. Those weren't fake tears. And one of my biggest concerns are, what if he really is telling the truth?
Well, that's a concern for me too.
And then we're just like telling him he's lying, and we're making memes and making jokes about this. What if this man is really telling the truth? He got attacked. I'm not saying that everything is in black and white, but until I see some documents or some official proof that he's lying, baby, no. He's a victim, and I stand by him.
No, that's move forward.
We definitely got
Before we
sidetracked.
get into
Well, no, I was trying to say, like,
Right.
when we're talking about advancement, that type of stuff.
Yeah, that type of stunt does push us back.
Yeah.
Now, Jesse, baby, if you're lying, baby, if you're lying, and I'm putting my neck on the line, baby, Empire's canceled.
Oh man, that's my show. But speaking of Empire and Jesse, how do we move forward as people when it comes to music?
Can we talk about appropriating? Okay.
Yes, we
Okay,
can.
okay.
All right, I have to take my glasses off.
We
for this. All right. Because for the
We-
longest,
yeah.
I've had the biggest issue with the black community giving
Say it.
certain particular people.
be direct.
Okay, the little white girl. What's her name? I didn't even say. I meant to
I
say.
don't know her name, but the one with the red hair.
Gucci flip flops. What's her
I
name?
think that's.
The little girl that got famous.
I know
From
her.
being disrespectful to her.
Now
to
we know
Dr.
in black households, you're being disrespectful. You're not getting famous. You're getting your ass whooped.
Yep.
Can I curse?
Yes.
You're getting your ass whooped.
That
And a
felt
black,
good, huh?
it did feel good. In a black community, there's no way name one
Let me put a pin
African.
in because that.
Yes,
We
name
gonna talk about
name
that.
one African American that got famous from being disrespectful to their parents.
Mm-hmm.
And America and the society in America just embraced it.
And it's perception because when a white girl does it, she's seen as, oh, she a baddie, oh,
she a bad
funny.
bitch.
You know, she don't take no shit. But when a black person, coon, ignorant, belligerent, disrespectful, no couth, I'm like, so.
Right. We have to distinguish a good beat from appropriating. Yes, it's a good beat. Give it to another artist. I'm not supporting her.
Mm-hmm.
One, she's disrespectful. Two, baby, that's not your culture. You weren't in the streets. You were in the house being disrespectful to your mom. Baby, you're not about that life. Gucci flip-flops, bitch, you got those flops. I'm about to start preaching. Like, come on. We as a community, we cannot continue to give into those type of whatever that is. That situation. That girl is a situation.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Zen, when it comes to music? Are you feeling the same way?
Okay. Yes. And I would also like to bring up I'm thinking of all the current events that have been happening that have been causing me to question, especially when we talk about black advancement. Y'all know, City Girls, Cardi B.
Pause.
Here we go. You knew it was
now
coming.
you know why you gotta bring Cardi in.
Well-
Okay, if you're bringing Cardi, you better bring Nicki in it.
But does
we
Nicki
can bring,
do
but we
that?
can bring Cardi. We can bring Nicki. We can bring a whole bunch of people. We can bring Cash Doll.
Okay, come on.
We can. So how? And let me give you context.
Okay.
We all have that one old aunt, grandma, mother, whoever, who will criticize
the music we
the
listen
music
to.
we listen to and the music videos and say that they're raunchy, they're loud, they're ghetto, they're inappropriate, they're sexual, and this is why black women and black people cannot progress. I would like to hear your thoughts. Now, I'm a third wave intersectional feminist. My feminism encompasses
Right.
everyone.
I would consider myself a feminist as well.
But I'm interested to hear other people's thoughts about this.
Did you want to go first?
What, like, now I'm thinking about it.
You still thinking?
While I'm thinking about it, I feel like when it comes to people like Beyonce, who is showing empowerment and showing black empowerment. And
But 10
showing
years ago,
women
Beyonce was still shaking her ass and showing her titties.
Right.
So
I'm talking about now.
Well, but
okay,
can we talk about
no.
black advancement without looking back?
Right,
Oh.
but no. Okay, so talking about black advancement, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's look at Cardi B. All right. I know a lot of your followers are probably going to hate me. But you can't hate on Cardi. There's just no way you can hate on her. Because the girl literally came from the Bronx, sounding illiterate as she still do. She still do.
You're not wrong.
But it takes a certain amount of acceptance. This is what I do for a living. All right. I have responsibilities.
Mm-hmm.
That's what she took into account. She stripped on a pole. Her bills were paid. Her family was fed.
I encourage it.
Okay, she had her side gig rapping. That was her thing. That's her dream. Where is she now? Grammy Award winner.
Inspiration, right there. She's real.
She's real.
Mhm.
Like
I'm on both
that
sides
type of
this,
personality is a personality I can get behind. I don't have to fake where I came from.
Mhm.
I don't have to lie in my raps. Bitch, if I'm gonna shake my ass, I'm gonna shake my ass. And I'm gonna get a coin while I'm doing it.
Mhm.
Yes, ma'am.
So you would say
I would say, as far as black advancement, okay, the image that she portrays, you know, the twerking, the, you know, obnoxious posting on her Instagram. Oh, he want his dick sucked, blah blah blah. That can take a chill, but low key, she's an inspiration though. Like she came from the ghetto. Look where she's at now. And City Girls, I don't know. I have my opinions on City Girls. One of them don't really support, you know, the queens out here, so I don't know. Y'all know about that scandal, right?
Yes.
So I don't know about her.
But any last thoughts on music? We're moving forward.
Music, I would just say, as a community, let's not give into appropriating our culture. We want it to stop, but yet we still support it by buying their songs and buying their CDs.
So I'm sorry.
Mhm.
When you said appropriation, I thought about this interview with your girl Cardi B, where she was asked about
Cardi's not black. We know she's not black, but is she really appropriating? No, she's not. You didn't know Cardi wasn't black. Cardi's not black.
I don't really follow
Not really.
singers, but yeah,
So in this interview, she was asked about Latinos and Hispanics, which are two different things. Hispanic just means you come from a Spanish-speaking country. Latino means you come from Latin America.
Okay.
But she was asked about Latinos and or Hispanics using the N-word. She said she felt like anybody could use the N-word. It didn't necessarily belong to anybody. And it wasn't racist because blacks and Latinos
Sis, you have to show me this.
I'll pull up the interview.
You have to show me this interview.
We
and you should have told me this
now,
before
we can pause right now, and I will show you this interview.
Can Latino people be racist towards black people?
Yes.
Yes.
Well,
yes,
okay.
yes.
Let's define racism. Racism, in my opinion.
No, let's look at Webster's. Let's look at Webster's and your opinion, baby.
I feel like after going through certain classes, I feel like racism is having power over another race.
That is true.
Right.
Minorities cannot be
racist.
That's what I mean.
And I don't think a lot of people know that.
Yeah.
Right. So
it's not
Latinos.
It's not racism, but it's the anti-blackness and the prejudices that you know are in the Latino and Hispanic community.
Right.
Like, oh, I could say nigga, but if you bring home a black girlfriend, if you bring home La Negra, like, she can't stay here. We don't want her in her family. There's literally a phrase, pelo malo, for people who are mixed, like, who are Hispanic and black. Like, my hair right now, this is pelo malo. They don't like that. Why don't you straighten your hair? Why can't you assimilate to more European standards of beauty?
I wouldn't... Yeah, that's very anti-black. I would just say that's anti-black. I wouldn't say that's racist.
Okay, as moving forward, movies and TV shows. How can we as black people advance ourselves in movies and TV shows?
I think it's the same thing across the board. The appropriating or misrepresentation. And we see it in Hollywood all the time.
Oh, God. Yes.
Like, all the time. Look at the Oscars. Hashtag Oscars so white. I mean, and it wasn't until recent years. Spike Lee just won his first Oscar.
I was so happy.
Like, why are our icons just now being rewarded for tremendous work that they've done in the past or recently. Like he just got an Oscar for
Black Klansman.
yeah. But Spike Lee, man, it's
do
Spike
the right,
Lee,
do the right
baby.
thing.
Like he should have been won an Oscar. I'm trying to think of a movie where they've casted a Ghost in the Shell. That's the most recent one.
Yeah.
I don't know too much about the background. I know that it's anime descent or
it's
Asian
anime
or
and it's Asian.
Yeah, it's an
The
Asian descent.
character from
but
the
they-
anime was Asian.
Yeah, they casted Scarlett Johansson for the movie. Like, come on. Now, I don't think Hollywood is that dumb to cast a white person to play Martin Luther King. But sometimes it's just that blatant disrespect. Like, why are Egyptians white? Egyptians in Africa, baby.
Oh, you know they'll fight that. The same thing with Cleopatra.
Oh, well,
Cleopatra was Greek.
Let's talk about Cleopatra and the recent 3D painting that they did. Was it last year? Y'all know about the 3D painting that they did, the sculpture that they did of Cleopatra, and how they made her very, very, very light skinned. I mean, we're talking about black advancement. Provide those opportunities for black actors and actresses
Right.
to
That's what I'm gonna
properly
say.
represent the black
That's
community.
what I'm gonna say.
community. And it's not just the black community. I'm just talking about proper representation across the board.
Mhm.
We're not going to have Denzel Washington play Donald Trump.
Mhm.
Not that he would.
Now, when you said right representation, what I just learned from Mr. Horacio, he said the TV show, what is it called? That TV show on Netflix where that Latino family, they're not really Puerto Rican.
What Latino fan? What movie? What show?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's called
Is it about the one with 5 kids?
No.
Okay.
It's the one with the mom, the grandmother, the grandfather, and her 2 kids, and her daughter's a lesbian.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
I feel like I know what you're talking about, but I don't know the
yeah.
name. Is it One Day at a Time or something like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
He said they're not really Puerto Rican.
Yeah, they do
I
that.
mean,
They're supposed to be
now-
supposed to play Puerto Rican family.
You could say the same thing about Jennifer Lopez playing Selena. Jennifer Lopez is from Puerto Rico. Selena is from
But
Mexico.
there's still there's some type of cultural
Ethnic.
there's a
like
resemblance.
an ethnic connection.
Now I'm talking about just straight up. Okay, I'm white. I want to play Barack Obama. I'm sorry, that was so rude. I want to play President Obama. We got Hillary. Hillary wants to play Michelle Obama. You can't. That type of disconnect. There's no advancement for black actors or black actresses, or even producers. Like look at Keenan. What's his name? Keenan Powell, the dude that did Get Out.
Jordan Peele.
Jordan Peele.
Mhm.
They put his movie. Granted, his movie won Oscars,
And a
but his
comedy.
movie was in a comedy movie category. When it was really
horror film.
a suspense or horror
Yeah.
film with a hell of a lot of subtext.
Mm-hmm.
What's the word I'm looking for? Sub messages.
Subliminal messages.
Subliminal. Yes.
Mhm.
Now, how the hell would you put Get Out in a comedy movie? Yes, the movie made me laugh here or there, but that movie
Right.
wasn't a laughing joke.
But one thing I wanted to say about giving black actors and actresses a chance to be in movies, like I watched a video on YouTube where one of my favorite reviewers, she was talking about how she would cast an all black superhero movie, I believe, and she was finding it really hard to find black actors and actresses that can also sing. That's an example. Like we need more representation when it comes to movies and TV shows.
All of this goes back to like when I look at the big picture, and for that excuse, we don't have enough black actors or black actresses that can sing and dance and act.
There are some. You got.
There's always
There's always someone.
You have to look at communities and areas where you've never looked before. If you're always looking in New York, you'll never find the talent here in Maryland. If you're always looking at California, you'll never find the talent in Arizona.
Exactly.
You know, like there are certain areas in the country that I consider or I think are elite states. Atlanta.
Washington, D.C.
I wouldn't consider DC elite. No. I love DC. I love you, DMV. I rep you. I'm from there. Prince George's, gorgeous Prince George's. But Prince George's is a very elite county. Okay, just sidebar, really quick. Speaking about Prince George's County, I do want to say that Prince George's County is one of the best counties in the country, despite what some legislative person might have said about our county. We are not a nigger county. We're the best county in the world. Country.
I feel like you're gonna use this as your campaign.
No.
And you can. You have my permission.
Thank you. But and I'm and stuff like that. Like we want to talk about Black advancement, like knowing what's going around in your area, in your environment, what's going on in the world. That will also help us advance as a people. Just being aware of the issues that are going on.
Can I say something really
quick?
Yes,
ma'am.
About I put it in my notes about Black advancement when it comes to film and television. So, for those who may not know, I'm a cinephile, which means I love movies, you know, film and stuff like that.
That's a real word.
So, yes, cinephile.
Oh, I just learned something new.
So, a lot of times I will watch old films. And as you may or may not know, pretty much the only roles delegated to Black actors were usually the servants, the Sambo character, the savage.
Yes.
Yeah.
The woman in the kitchen.
And I was during that. I know exactly what you're talking about. During that time, I was so annoyed. Like I was tired of seeing us always playing the slave and
then sometimes I felt bittersweet. Like there's this very good documentary. It's old, but it's still relevant. Called Ethnic Notions, where they talked about roles of Black people and just representation of Black people and advancement, you know, in different aspects of our culture. And I think about things like blackface and how back in the day, so blackface started with white people, white men who would put, you know, burnt cork on their face and try to talk what to their knowledge, to their limited knowledge of how we sounded. So they wanted to sound like us. They tried it. Of course, it wasn't authentic. But it started with white people. Black people who were poor and who wanted to try and make it in showbiz had to essentially coon for coins.
And they put them in blackface.
And they voluntarily put on blackface, cooned for coin.
I'm sorry. Are you saying a Black person put on?
Yes.
Yeah. I learned that in class.
Look, if you have time, look up Step and Fetch It. Main example of someone cooning for coins. This was the character who was always in some movie. They would ask him to get out of bed. He'd be like, "Oh man, I want to get out of bed." Shuffling his feet, back slumped, lip jutted out, cooning for coin. And you know, I had looked on like Wikipedia and was trying to do some research to see how people felt about it. Of course, like the NAACP felt like he was a dishonorable Black person, which I agree. But then there was a part of me that's like,
he's doing it for money.
He's doing it for money.
He needs money.
You need money. And back in the day,
money was
either you coon for coins or you just
starved, broke, no house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, think about like Hattie McDaniel, who won an award for Gone with the Wind for playing a mammy character. The person who was dressing Pretty White Scarlet. And using, you know, stereotypical African-American vernacular. That type of stuff makes me, like, sad. But at the same time, I can sympathize. Like, we had to do what we had to do. to progress. And then just imagine like the backlash that they received from their own people during that time who shared the same sentiments that I think we feel. Because I think when we look back today, we're like, how could you do that? Like, why would you voluntarily
That's what I'm
do
saying.
that?
Like, in my opinion, there's no way I would ever degrade myself that low. Even if I needed the money. There's just a certain amount of pride that I have. Y'all know how I feel about the white man.
Everyone's different.
Well,
And back then was a different
I'm not
time.
racist, okay? And I have
You
no...
cannot
I had,
be
no,
racist.
I'm talking about your...
the white
just-
people version of
I'm
racist.
I'm speaking to your listeners. I don't want to come off as a anti-white person. I'm just very, very, very pro-black.
Now, to end the movie and TV show part of this, how do you feel about majority black TV shows? For example, Empire, Black Lightning, Dear White People.
Dear White People is
Dear White People is a good show.
Dear White People is a total
Marlon.
misnomer, and I
Grownish.
Yeah, Grownish.
What's Grownish is the spinoff show.
Blackish.
What's Blackish?
Blackish is beautiful.
Blackish.
How
Yeah, I
how
like
can I
Blackish.
forget Blackish?
Chewing gum.
I've seen episodes.
I
I've seen
saw
like
that
glimpses.
one.
All I know is that
I
I see that she's
Chewing Gum.
yeah.
For
That's a wild show.
That's my movie. That's my show. That's my show. But how do you feel about shows like that, where it's like majority, like a black family, or like majority of the characters are black?
I think we need more of it. Like,
Mhm.
I'm not sure if y'all know I'm a little older than y'all.
And you know that I'm a little older than you in my soul. So bring it.
Baby, no, you're not.
He don't know.
You can try. Anyways,
we all know.
I'm not sure. I would say I would
Youngest.
be when I was growing up. I had a plethora amount of black TV shows to grow up on.
Such
One-on-one,
as?
Eve,
Yes.
Sister.
Girlfriends, Sister.
Okay, I've seen all of
Cosby
those.
Show.
Cosby Show, even
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
cartoons, Little Bill,
Proud
Little bit,
Family.
yes.
Proud Family. You know, we don't have that now
Mhm. For the most part.
for the most part.
Mhm.
We have
Empire.
that's focused on, you know,
The
Music.
foolishness.
I mean,
and
no,
it's
drama.
it's
I love
it's
it.
a drama show,
It's a
but
drama show.
they did focus on certain key points that happen in society, such as homosexuality
And,
or
mental illness.
LGBTQ equality, mental
as well.
illnesses. What else?
See?
Justice reform,
Mhm.
justice reform. Or police reform. I think it was that episode or that season.
Oh yeah, police brutality.
Was it police? Yeah, police brutality when Andre was going through some stuff. Yeah.
Mhm.
And then you have Blackish, who just straight up explains what the last election meant
Oh,
for
that
African
was-
Americans
that
in
was
this
deep.
country.
Yeah.
Like Blackish, that show it hit the nail.
Oh yeah.
You know, we need more shows like that. And even if it's not more, even if it's a comedy show, something that we can just sit back and relate to and laugh at. You know, I'm tired of watching reruns of Friends. I'm tired of watching what else? I mean, I don't really. I want to say George Lopez,
The
but I
Nanny,
can kind of
the Nanny
relate
George
to
Lopez.
George Lopez. He's
Nick,
a minority,
Nick at Night.
you know. He was always on a budget, you know. I'm not saying that black people are always on a budget, but you know, we like to budget. We like to save our coin. I'm sorry, I'm a different type.
I also
of
want
black
to add
person.
before Zen says something. House of Pain. Go ahead.
House of Pain.
That's my freaking show. Go ahead.
So here's something that I had always discussed with my mom. So I'm a little bit older than you in my soul,
She is.
and you have to accept it.
Born in the
I
80s.
grew
now
up
60s.
with living in living color.
In living,
Living
baby, I didn't even finish living single, baby. Girl,
You didn't finish.
Don't look. If only there was a camera. Girl, don't ever try to outdo me.
You didn't finish it.
Baby, the Parkers.
The Jeffersons.
Oh, Jeffersons.
What's
Martin,
happening?
Martin.
What's
Martin.
happening?
How did we forget Martin? Moesha.
Soul Train. Did you watch the
Oh.
original?
The original. No. I didn't
Well,
watch that,
and
didn't
here
watch
you
that.
have it. But what
Didn't watch that.
my mom and I would discuss is the success of an all black show
Mhm.
in living color versus Saturday Night Live. So you could argue about the content of the shows, but if you know the history of like In Living Color and what was going on when they kicked him off his own show that he created, that he tried to extend the invitation for people who were not well known. Like, he wanted people who were not known to have a platform.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the people on his show were black. It was a show that was like for us, by us, right? Then they kicked him.
I said FUBU.
Yeah.
FUBU making a comeback too, I heard.
Ooh. But they kicked him off his own show. Had white people come on, rip off his stuff that he already wrote, use it, show dropped. Never got picked back up. They thought about it. They were like, it wouldn't work now. But it always bothers me. Like, whenever I think of, like, black advancement, that was such a pivotal moment in black entertainment. And it's sort of like, it got overshadowed by everything else. Even stuff that wasn't funny. Like, if we're keeping it buck, I love me some Saturday Night Live, but there was a time when I stopped watching because it wasn't funny anymore.
I don't watch it now.
Yeah, it's not really funny.
I mean, you guys know I'm a political junkie. I'll probably watch like clips of when they're trying to do a reenactment of Donald Trump or his administration. When Melissa McCarthy was doing.
Yeah, then I actually watched.
What's his name?
I know you're
Jeff.
Yeah.
What's his name? Jeff. The speaker, the speaker before Sarah Huckabee.
Yeah.
When she reenacted his speeches, I would die laughing because, I mean, it's political, like, but I don't really watch it now.
But it's so mainstream that it's overshadowed In Living Color. Like, you say In Living Color, some people don't even know what that is, and I'm like, that was our show. That was our Saturday Night Live.
Mm-hmm.
I just had to bring that up. That was
and I just want to bring up Family Matters and Good Times.
Good Times is one of those shows I love to watch, but if I analyze it, if you watch the documentary,
Good Times was a good show.
If you watch the documentary and you knew what was happening behind the scenes, once again,
what was happening behind the scenes?
So for those of you who don't know, CBS, which was the network that ran shows like Good Times, The Jeffersons, What's Happening, they monopolized off of what were supposed to be black shows and black experiences. They wanted to focus more on J.J. Evans because he was the comedian of the show, basically. Esther Roll, who played the mother in Good Times, and John Amos, who played the father, wanted the show to focus on the black family, the struggles of the black family. So there was a point where John Amos was like, if you guys keep focusing on this kid, I'm going to split. Because we're not talking about anything at this point. You're making a show about him and, his art, and that's nice, but we're not talking about anything political. We aren't talking about anything cultural. At this point, it's just white people writing about a black boy who likes to make jokes and coon for white people. I love J.J. Evans.
Yeah.
Great character. Yeah. But if you look at the dynamics and the archetype of his character, he would fit the Sambo character. Just saying. Don't hate me, but I'm putting it out there.
Ain't nobody hating.
So John Amos ended up leaving, and they did this by having, the father killed off or whatever. The show was never the same again. People stopped watching it. Black people especially were devastated because it was the first time where you actually saw a black father present in the family.
And then they end up killing him off.
And Esther Roll was livid, and she said, like, this show, that's why it ended, like, so abruptly. But a lot of the things, like them living in the ghetto, the vernacular that JJ would use, written by white people. So sometimes it's like a bittersweet feeling because it's like the show was an advancement, but when you look behind the scenes and at what was really going on, how far did they,
tying this back to black advancement, we need more black writers. We need to
Yes.
give black writers the opportunity
Yes.
to allow us to see through their eyes. You know, let us see what your black experience is.
Yes. I'm tired of being told, "Oh, you gonna be the next Tyler Perry." That's all I
And
hear.
I love Tyler
That's
Perry
all I
from the
hear.
bottom of my heart, and I support him. You know, the things that's going on with him and Monique, I have no idea what's going on with them. I know they having some beef, but Tyler Perry has paved the way for a lot of young African American actors, actresses, comedians. He even, what was that movie? One movie, he brought all the viral sensations into his movie. Like,
Medea's Christmas.
Yeah, Medea's Christmas. I'm just like, come on. Like, you can't say that a black man who literally started from the bottom, got a little loan or whatever, he gave back to the community.
But riddle me this.
Oh shit.
Uh-oh.
When we look at the structure of Tyler Perry's films, especially some of his
There's always
films,
a message.
There's a message, but can that message
be delivered across the board?
Can that message lose value when you have characters like Medea who overshadow your message? Like, think about
Medea,
Mad Black Woman, though.
Diary of a Mad Black Woman.
And think about how more people will remember Medea cutting shit up versus the trauma that the main character
abuse. No, I think Medea was a pivotal
the sassy black woman.
No.
I do see her as helping out.
She was a very helpful character in that movie. That girl was getting beat. Okay, couldn't defend herself, didn't know how to stand up or speak up for herself. Medea is a character that Tyler Perry was raised by, or it's his reimagining idea of, I think, his aunt or his grandmother or whatever. Medea helped that young lady speak up for herself and overcome her battles of being abused. In that ending scene, you know, she gave her advice. There's the pot of grits. I'm gonna go to church. Let y'all talk. Do your thing. I don't think Medea was this is a me movie or whatever. I think the message in Medea plays in the way he does it. It plays in pretty nice.
Well, sometimes it's not about like what Tyler Perry made the movie to be. It's all about perception. So I think a lot of times the problem is a lot of people who may watch the film may perceive Medea as the main star, or they may focus more on her versus the fact that she's helping a woman who has been traumatized by domestic violence and abuse.
I mean, of course, Medea is the main star. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I do.
I mean, the movie is called Medea.
No, the movie was called Diary of a Mad Black Woman. And you can even argue that the title has a stereotype in it.
But that's not even a stereotype. Okay, look,
the mad or sassy black woman.
I do get what Zen is talking about, though.
Yes,
I do get what Zen is talking about. How the viewer's eye is gonna go towards Medea because she's a comedic, outrageous character, and her scenes were more memorable than what was actually going on in the story.
Her scenes were not that memorable.
Her cutting up that sofa with the chainsaw was.
People know that right away.
Right.
They may not even know the title of
or even the
like
story.
you.
I'm sorry.
Like you.
No. I know that. Bitch, you just played with me.
But let's. Okay.
No, wait.
Go ahead.
Okay, just give me 30 more seconds. Okay, 30 more seconds. Dang, I lost my thought. Damn. Okay, thank you. You know what? No.
You trying to defend Medea.
I don't even remember the chainsaw scene. I think I do, but one of the most
I wish this was video.
One of the most memorable scenes. It wasn't the grit scene. It's when she tossed his ass in the tub.
In the tub. That was terrible too.
Baby. Let me tell you something here, Charles.
And she left his ass and in the tub.
Let me tell you something, Zenobia.
Let me tell you.
I will put you in a wheelchair and dump you in.
Remember the comedic parts of the film.
Let's move on.
Okay.
Because we got too much on that. Okay, how are we gonna move on as black people in public and workplace?
I mean, as far as the workplace, all right. So
no, go ahead. I was gonna say, for example, go ahead.
So when you think about, small businesses, and we have these black businesses, black-owned businesses,
Uh-oh.
Everyone says, provide me with experience. Give me a resume. What experience do you have?
Mm-hmm.
All right. When I look at a black businessman or woman, I expect them to look back into their communities. Yes, I need someone with a degree. I need someone. Provide an internship for this black entrepreneur at Bowie State University.
Give opportunities to black students.
Yes.
Black people that are trying to get into that place.
Exactly. This is how we promote ourselves. Like I said, black people, we always balling on a budget. All right? We're so quick to spend $300 on some Jordans, but we can't even buy a $30 T-shirt from this small black business that's in the shopping center. $30 for a T-shirt, but yet you just spent $200 on some Jordans.
Mm-hmm.
Technically, I can't even say Jordan because Jordans, that's owned by a black man too. But I mean, if you really want to look into it, all their shoes look the same. So I mean, I know I'm about to get attacked, but I mean all them shoes.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
They look the same, just different damn color schemes. Like I don't know. It's Jordans. It's the style. It's whatever. But I guess using Jordans was a bad example. But do you get what I'm saying? Like we're so quick to spend our money on Gucci, Versace, and just forget about our black businesses. I have a coworker who designs clothes. Yeah, they're pricey. I got you. When I got it, I'm gonna support you because I know what it takes to build a business. I'm not gonna keep saying, "Oh, you're too expensive," but go to American Eagle and buy $30 jeans, or I'm not gonna keep giving to white America, neglecting my black community.
Help each other out. Help each other move forward. And
right. That's how we give back. Mm-hmm. I want a picture painted. It's gonna cost you $75. When we think, in my opinion, when black people think of a price, they're just like, oh, you're way overpriced. You're only doing this because you're a small business. You just want to overcharge me. No, they're charging you based off their skill. That's their talent. If I know I can sing like Beyonce and dance and move my hips and do it, baby, my tickets will be $800 every day. And if you can't afford to get in, baby, catch the DVD. That's $300. Know your worth.
Mm-hmm.
And the black community, we have to understand that we are worth a lot. We have to invest in each other.
Mm-hmm.
The white man not gonna do it. He's not.
I hope you guys are listening, because this is facts right here. I really want this to happen. We need to help each other out.
Yes.
And
we might have to go to the white man. Hey, can I get a $20 loan?
If you,
he gonna
do what you gotta do.
He gonna interest gonna be high as a mother.
Yeah.
Man, I'd rather rely on my people. Come on, man.
But how about you, Zen? In the workplace, in public. Yeah.
Well, when I think about the workplace,
you have to go.
There's a certain decorum that you have to have. And I will say that being black and knowing the struggles of my mother, who works in a professional workplace and has had transgressions with coworkers because they find her to be aggressive or sassy or belligerent or common. This is my favorite one. Difficult to work with.
Oh, bitch,
you hear that a lot being black. I remember when I worked at Kohl's.
Oh,
I was working.
You heard that.
You heard it. And I don't care.
Nothing.
I don't care how they feel about it.
I no longer work there, so the social media policy no longer applies to me.
There it is.
Love you, Coles.
So I don't fuck Coles, and you heard it. And you heard it here first. But anyway, when I was working at Coles, they put me at jewelry. That was my job. I was supposed to show jewelry, to ring up people, do returns, exchanges, blah blah blah. I had a customer who wanted to purchase a diamond. Okay? He wanted to purchase diamond earrings. I was showing him different diamond earrings. Didn't have his card. Had to call his wife. Blah, 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 blah. Now, we get to the ring up process. He had a coupon. He said, how much would it be with the coupon? I told him, I was like, well, if you have the coupon with you, I can scan it, give you the price. I don't have it with me. Can you just do it with math? You know math, right?
I'm sorry, I would have lost my job.
And you know, I was taken aback because I'm thinking,
nigga, do you know math?
Exactly.
You could have did it.
You have a phone. There's a calculator on your phone. Now, if you were smart enough and knew how to do it, then you wouldn't have to ask me a stupid question like that.
And why would you even ask a question about a coupon that you don't have?
But because I know how I'm perceived in the workplace, and I know that, you know, if I had been a white woman, I could have said, well, you can do it on your phone and get away with it. Now, as a black woman, I could say it in the same, I could look at you and say, well, you can do it on your phone. And they would be ready to talk to a manager.
Where's your manager?
She's attitude. She's difficult to work with. She's not being... Did the math. Rung him up to the exact coin. Gave him the exact total. Boom. But I have to remind myself that there's a certain decorum that I have to have solely because of the fact that I am a black woman.
You're talking about mannerisms, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
I want to get into appearance when you're done. Hair, makeup, what defines us as black people, as an individual in the black community, is often looked at as raggedy.
Until a white person does it. Then it's
until
trendy.
A white person comes in with some dreads looking like God knows what out the goddamn garbage, knowing damn well your hair don't look good in no damn dreads. Everything is ace boom coon with them.
And you know why?
Just recently, okay, we want to talk about black advancement and being aware of what's going on in our community. Just recently, the Supreme Court ruled in favor that during an interview, an employer has the right to deny your employment based off of your hair. If your hair looks raggedy, they can say we don't want you. And this is the Supreme Court of America, United States of America, saying this is okay. This is not racist. This is not discrimination. This is not prejudice. Bitch, please. I don't want to work here anyway.
And as we move forward, any last words on workplace?
Workplace, I mean, it's simple. Like, we're not a different species from a white person. Like, we know how to act in the workspace.
But they think we don't. And sometimes I get mad when we prove them right.
And that's when you kill them with class, baby. When you prove people right, babe, my president said it. When they go low, we go high. You kill them with class. And I'm talking about the classiest of class with a smile. And you know what? Add a wink while you're at it.
Now let's continue.
Yes, sir.
we are on time. Bridget, last is how can we advance ourselves in bridging the gap between black community and other black communities, for example, the LGBT black community, interracial communities, and on forward.
All right. Outside of the gay community and the LGBTQ community and interracial communities, what other communities do we have? Just within ours.
You said outside of
the LGBTQ and interracial.
No, those are identity communities. There's also religious communities like Black Muslims, Black.
I got you.
Christian.
And you're saying how can we
all
bridge
come
us
together
with our? Okay, I got you.
Well,
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
How can we come together while still respecting our differences?
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty simple.
Yeah.
To be-
Tell me because I think we're on the same page.
Okay, if it's as simple as water, go ahead.
Go ahead, Zen.
No, you go ahead first. 'Cause
I think I've been answering first for the longest. I want to let someone else.
Okay.
I think, in simplest form, at the end of the day, we all need to realize that we're black
We're
first.
fighting the same.
We
fight.
are black before anything else.
Right.
Before you know who I am, you just see I'm black.
Mhm.
Right.
That's
Before
it.
Period.
Period. Like, we should be on the same page coming out the womb. Hey, what's
thing
good?
is, I wish people understood that, but they don't.
They don't, because we all the differences within the black community, like, they're just so.
They want to categorize. Well, I say they. We end up categorizing ourselves into different groups.
But I would say this, all right. I love my people. Black people have a sense of pride beyond no other. Okay.
You're not wrong.
I'm saying, like, we will put ourselves above. I'm saying ourselves as an individual. We'll put ourselves above everybody in the black community. You know, I'm black, I'm straight. You're black, you're gay. I can't mess with you because you're having sex with other men.
That reminds me
I
of
can't
that
mess
scene
with
from Brother to
you.
Brother.
Yeah, I can't mess with you because you're having sex with white people.
Mm-hmm.
I can't mess with you because you're Muslim. You know, that type of negative connotation within our community, it brings us down. And something that will, when you said the fact that because we're black, that should unite us, I was thinking that too. But I was also thinking, educate yourself. Educate yourself on what it means to be a black man and gay in America.
Mm-hmm.
Educate yourself on what it means to be a black man dating a Caucasian woman or man. Mm-hmm. Educate yourself on what it means to be Muslim and black. You know, there's so many things that you can learn from and turn around and accept or understand and respect. You don't have to agree with me on my political views. You don't have to exercise the same religion. Mm-hmm. But what you will do is respect me as an individual, as a gay black man, or a bi man, or a trans man, or a Muslim man, or a man that wants to participate in interracial relationships. That was a tongue twister, low key. Interracial relationships. Interracial relationships. That's a tongue twister, low key. That's a tongue twister. You know, people are just so scared to educate themselves, and I don't understand why.
Yeah, it's not just the black community there. Like,
it's everybody. Yeah, it's everybody. But we're talking about the black community. Right. You know, what makes us
and how
so
we can
disconnected. Advance. You know, we're so disconnected based off of
even shades of color.
Baby,
in high school,
team brown skin. That was a whole epidemic. That I was not with.
Team dark skin.
That was a whole. I mean, and we still participated in those type of things now. You know, you're such a light skin. You text back whenever you want to.
We see that as funny.
You know, I mean, it's funny. It's funny. You know,
joke about it.
But
there's an undermining.
Right.
You know?
No.
Right. Some people say you'll be the house slave.
Nah.
I'm
not with that. Black is beautiful. All right.
You'll be in
the most darkest. You see that jacket right there? That's black. If someone like that walk past me, damn, your melanin is popping. Man or female. What's good, my brother? What's good, sis? I'm sorry. I'm in love with melanin. There's no way I'm going to, you know, degrade you because, you listen to trap music and I listen to pop. You know, stupid shit like that. We're all black. I'm going to respect you for who you are. At the end of the day, if a KKK member come up to one of to him or her, I'm going to have their back based off the fact that they're black. And I expect that within the black community.
And it's not like the KKK member knows that, he's a black gay person. And he's a black Muslim and it matters. You're both
Right.
black. He's still going to try to kill both of you.
So
Go ahead.
I'm going to tie something in here.
Mhm.
Yes, ma'am.
So something that happened a while ago when I was working at the old Taco Bell, my manager, who is from Ghana.
Oh, I met him when I went up there, when I did a little pop-up.
Mm-hmm. Yes. He uses the word nigga a lot, but claims he's not black.
What does he claim?
He
African.
says he's a different type of black.
See, that's the
And that's the
disconnect.
anti-blackness that
anti-blackness and the stigma.
permeates
Mhm.
a lot of our Caribbean brothers and sisters, our African brothers and sisters.
Because they say American black.
It's
That's a bad type of black.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Baby,
We
My-
could all be on the boat. That's all I'm
my
saying.
ancestors was with your ancestors.
Right.
We black. I don't even like saying black. I like saying African American because my descent from Africa.
You know what? I got into an argument with this girl because she said that really, in her mind, and you may agree or disagree, she said if you were born here, this was black girl, black lesbian, if you were born here, you're American. If you come from Africa and you move to America and you live here, you know, a certain amount of years, you have
I
a family,
understand that.
then you would be African American because you immigrated from Africa to come to America,
Technically,
and then you'd be African American.
yeah.
I'm sorry. So okay,
But
if
I
you want,
feel like the
if you want to
term
go back
is so
to
versatile.
no. If you want to go back to the slave days, right? Negro means black in Spanish, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
No.
Negro.
Negro.
Yeah.
You get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And these are people coming from Africa.
Yes.
What's the difference, baby?
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said we would all be on the boat. If you want to get into the linguistics of it
Right,
and
I'd rather
the
be-
context, then I can understand the argument. But my point is, at the end of the day, white people weren't, oh, you're from Jamaica? You're good. Let me get that nigga over there from,
Right.
like, you know what I'm saying?
Black is black.
Yeah.
White is white.
So let's end it right there, and we will be back after the break. So we made it to our final thoughts we made it to our final thought. And what is the last couple things you want to say about black advancement?
So we all black. Period.
Period.
That's all I have to say. At the end of the day, we are all on the boat. They would put us on the boat. We would all be in chains together. It don't matter if you're from Guyana, Jamaica, Trinidad, America,
Detroit, PG,
Europe, because they do have black people in Europe. It doesn't matter. We would all be on the boat together. That's the first thing they see. Before they see that you're anything else, they see you black. Before they hear the accent, you're black. Don't matter. Who's that black man over there?
That was a good one.
That's all I'm saying.
I
Okay.
guess my final thoughts would be pretty much the same thing. We just need to continue to persevere. You know, look, it might take us another 10 years before we get another black president, or any type of the first time ever. You know, we're just gonna keep working until there's no more first black African or whatever, first Latino. We're just gonna have to keep working hard, put in the work and educate the young generation so they can know that when they become of age and when they get in our shoes, that they're gonna have to work hard. It's just gonna take a lot of work.
Yeah. Exactly. And that has been our final thoughts. We'll be back after this break.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Zen The Podcast. And unfortunately, we have come to the end of this episode.
But don't worry, we will be back next week with new things to talk about. So make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and ring that notification bell to be notified when we release a new episode.
Also, make sure you guys follow us on our Instagram and Twitter at Zen The Podcast and turn on our notifications there so you'll be notified when we release our next episode.
Yes, we thank our new guest, Tony, our very good friend, Tony, for being here with us.
No problem. Thank you for having me. I enjoyed myself.
Yes. So tell us once again where we can follow you.
You can definitely follow me on Instagram, Tony That Tyga, TonyThatTyga. Leave my name alone.
The name varies. The name varies. So.
Or you can follow me on Snapchat, Tony the Wallflower.
Yes.
Oh.
And you'll definitely see him in the offices. So stay tuned for that. He's gonna make Maryland. What is it, Maryland? Where, how far are you going?
My career goal?
Yeah.
The goal is to become a United States Senator. So I'll be in D.C. representing all of Maryland, including gorgeous Prince George's County.
And we have him first here.
Hey.
Mm-hmm. So we thank you for being here with us, Tony.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, and we thank you all so much for listening to Zen the Podcast with me, Sirg.
And me, Zenobia.
And we see you guys later. Have a wonderful week.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.